Mastering edges in watercolor is easy. If you want to learn this, then you must watch this video. Today I want to talk to you about controlling edges in watercolor. Now, when you're trying to control edges in watercolor, there's lots of tools that you can use. You can use paintbrush, for example, which you're going to use most of the time. You can use something called the incredible nib. The incredible nib is right here. You can use masking fluid. You can take off color with paintbrushes. You can literally cut color off with razor blades. You can use Mr. Clean magic erasers to literally erase color using some tape also. And then the final tool to control edges is a hammer. I'm just kidding, we're not going to use a hammer, but all the other tools will work. The easiest way to get hard edges in watercolor is simply to take some of your color. It could be any color in the world. You can just get it mixed up, emulsified in the brush. And you come into here and you put wet color on dry paper. Now, if you put wet color on dry paper, you're going to find that the color just soaks in the paper slowly, and it's going to give you a nice hard edge. If you're looking for a soft edge, put water down your paper first, and then grab your color and come into here and drop wet color onto wet paper. And you're going to find that then the edge is soft because the color is going to continue to spread out. Another option we have when we create edges is to take the color off the paper. So right now I'm going to use what they call the incredible nib. This is designed to be used with masking fluid. It's a resin composite of some sort. And what you can do is you can come into here, get the knit a little wet, and come into here. And what this does is it agitates the color and it pulls it off the paper. Then you have to dab with a paper towel, preferably a clean, dry one. But this is going to give you not a super soft edge. The more you scrub, the more the color will start to come off. This gives you a softer edge. And another edge shaping tool too is I like to use flat brushes. You get the brush with a little bit of water on it. This particularly works well for non-staining colors. You come back into here and go back and forth over the color, and it's going to give you a relatively soft edge. Then dab that color off there. This is a softer edge than the incredible nib is going to give you. If you really need to get back to the pure white of the paper, if you covered over something accidentally, there are ways to do this. And what you can do is you can take a snap blade, just utility knife or X-Acto blade, and literally just come into here and just cut the color off the top of the paper. Now, you don't want to cut right through the paper. You just have to pretend you're a neurosurgeon. This doesn't work, of course, for really large areas because it would take forever to cut the paper. You cut the paper, you can see this mark here. I've got definitely a harder edge. I've got back to the white of the paper. And then take a white eraser. If you want to erase some more of that color off, you can get it to come off. And you can see that you got back to the pure white of the paper, and that gives you a very hard edge. We have another tool at our disposal too. If you want to get back to the white of the paper, you can use a Mr. Clean magic eraser. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple pieces of tape, and you can get a softer edge with the magic eraser if you don't use tape, but it literally does erase everything off the surface of the paper. You come into here, put blue tape down, take your magic eraser, get it just a little bit wet, squeeze out excess water, don't drop it. You can come into here, this literally just erases the color off the paper. And because you use tape, that's going to give you a super hard edge also. You can also just use the magic eraser without using tape, but it is going to give you a very soft edge. I get just barely wet, and this kind of does drag color all over the place. But if you want to get back to some cloud shapes, you could do something like that with a magic eraser. You can also use masking fluid, which is also called drawing gum or frisket, on paper to get hard edges. What you do is you put down the masking fluid first, and then you have to let this dry 100%. And once masking fluid is completely dry, you can take a, if you touch it, it doesn't come off on your finger. It's always going to feel a little sticky because it's masking fluid, it's liquid plastic. What you could do then is take some of your color and paint over the mask. And we're going to let that dry, and I'm going to show you what this looks like when you peel this off. And once your paint is dried around the masking fluid, you can simply peel it off, and you're going to find that this leaves you a very, very hard edge. And I don't mind using masking fluid for edges, but sometimes I can look at a painting and I know it's a masking fluid edge. So at times I have to knock it back and make it not so hard edge. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. And that is just one of the many ways to control edges in watercolor. If you guys have other ways to do it, I'd love to hear from you. Leave the comments below in the YouTube video and I'll get back to you. If you like this content, hit subscribe. I'll have more watercolor tutorials in the future. Thanks a lot and happy painting. So the entire time I was recording this video, I kept thinking about songs with the word edge in it. I kept thinking about, Aerosmith's Living on the Edge, which of course I can't play because I'd get sued by Aerosmith, but I just sang it for you. Not very well. I apologize for that. And that's why it's at the end of this thing. So people hopefully never, ever see this.